Welcome back to Exotic Car Playplace, everybody. Thanks for joining in again today. But today we are going to continue the saga of the coolant leaks on my N54 powered 335i. Now, while the car's been a lot of fun to drive, I'm not going to lie, there's been a lot of leaks and a lot of little things that I've been trying to work out. And we've replaced a lot of parts along the way trying to solve some of these coolant leaks. Now, if you want to see more on that information, make sure you stick around to the end of the video and click on the link. That's going to take you to my last video, which I did a great job of just summarizing overall what I've done to try to solve some of the coolant issues. So it looks as though it's kind of moist and wet, and there's some splatter just below the oil filter housing. Now, the only thing in that area could be one of two things. We could have a leaky gasket, which I sure hope that's not the issue, because that's going to mean a bit of an engine job. But the other thing is there's a fitting that comes off of the front of the engine, off the head, does a quick 90, and then it converts to a hose that which drops down onto the water pump or thermostat area. That fitting is plastic that's connected to the engine, and it's a flange. It's bolted up with two 10mm bolts, and it's fragile plastic that is often subjected to a lot of heat. Now, that's a very common leak point. I've ordered that hose. We're going to show you today the do-it-yourself and how to actually replace that hose, because likely you're going to find the same issue at some point in the life of your N54, because that is such a common issue. As a matter of fact, if you look all over Amazon, there's lots of upgrades. The aluminum conversion kit, which they actually can sell you for about 30 bucks all over Amazon, that's a great upgrade. Now, I'm going to do the full hose, and I'm putting back in a plastic piece. I'm doing a complete replacement as per OEM. That doesn't mean I think it's better. I'm just thinking it's time to do the hose as well. So I'm doing the full hose with plastic upgrade. I'm also ordering that aluminum flange just in case for future. But we're going to address that leak. I'm going to show you how to do it, what you have to take apart, and hopefully this helps you. But also, I hope this makes the final leaks go away on my car. I'll let you know. Stay tuned. Let's get into it now. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Mark with Exotic Car Playplace, and today... So let's walk through the process. So firstly, I bought the hose that ran from the water pump thermostat cluster up to the front of the engine head, which is actually located right below the oil filter housing. You'll notice it right on the front of the engine, and it 90s over. So there's a plastic flanged adapter with two 10mm bolts that's bolted into the front of the head that turns to a 90 and adapted to a hose, which then runs along the front of the engine, drops down to the water pump thermostat setup. Even though you're able to buy just that aluminum upgrade, and everybody knows the aluminum upgraded flange is far superior than the factory plastic one, I just figured the hose as well was overdue. I mean, that's something with 110,000 kilometers on it, and I thought I would do it all in one. I've also ordered the aluminum adapter for later on. Should this become a problem again, at least I'll have that in hand, but I know I've got a newer hose installed in there as well. So first of all, I have the material. You also want to make sure you have, for sure, a couple of jugs of the BMW blue antifreeze, which I purchased that. It's a concentrate, so you'll essentially be mixing it with water prior to putting it into the engine or putting it into the overflow reservoir. So you pop the hood. Then you look in the front there, you've got your two air inlets. So what you want to do is there's a couple of grommets. They're kind of nailed in grommets. It's a two-piece thing. It's a plastic hub or bushing, if you will. You pop those two things out on both sides. And then there's a couple of torque screws that face you that hold the whole flange assembly together into the frame. Undo those, be sure to put them to the side. Then the whole arrangement comes apart. You lift the actual plastic inlets out, and then the plastic runner that adapts to the air box gets removed. You lift that up and back. So you take that out. Clear those things out. That's the easiest way to start. Now what it does is leave you access to look at what's going on at the oil filter housing. And I noticed in my car here, there's a fair amount of oil and antifreeze in the area. Now, that might be suggestive of a few things, but for now, we're only primarily concerned with the antifreeze leak. So first, to access the flange, I found it easier just to remove those oil lines off the cooler. So those two oil lines, you want to undo the bolt, which is located right between the two of the lines, but you have to get at it from below. So you undo that, crank that bolt out, remove the bolt, drop those two oil lines. Now, it's probably best to have a rag because there's a lot of oil in there and it's going to gush out and make a real mess of the engine. So you want to make sure you have rags available that at least catch some of that oil as it comes out. Anyway, you drop that down, take those two lines out, set them up and over to the engine, on top of the engine somewhere with rags underneath, just to make sure they're safe and out of the way. Now what that does is it exposes you to the top end of the flange end of the hose that we're going to replace. And this is the part that I actually believed was the culprit in my leak. And time will tell as we go on here. Now that we're going to change this out, look a week, 2 weeks down the road, maybe a month down the road to see if I'm still leaking antifreeze. I did notice a lot of moisture in the area. So of course we undo the 2 bolts to the flange, crack that loose, and of course that's going to release a bunch of antifreeze as well. So probably doesn't hurt to have a bucket below or have your car parked in such a place where it's not going to contaminate nice soil or something. So we take that off. Then as you look down, there's one clamp that essentially holds the hose against the engine. And then if you look further down, there's a second clamp that holds it tight again. So there's 2 clamps there you have to unsnap, and then it frees that whole hose from the top. Then what we do is we jack the car up. Underneath, unfortunately, it's extremely tight to gain access to. So essentially next what we had to do was remove the pan, the belly pan off the engine, and there's a whole whack of screws. You have to undo all of those, set the pan to the side. What we end up doing is removing that little hydraulic line that runs across the bottom. There's 2 screws, you want to undo those, put them aside. Then you can drop that line. That's a hard line converted to a rubber line. It's a very small diameter, probably 3/8 or so, 1/4 inch. Then unfortunately we also have to remove the stabilizer bar. That has to come undone. So you unbolt it from the frame, unbolt it from the end links, and remove it completely. I found it's just easier just to get rid of it altogether. You also have to unbolt those 2 long bolts. There's a nut on top and there's a bolt head on the bottom, and you really want to remove the whole steering rack or drop it out of the way so it's at least more accessible. Then that gains you access to the water pump and thermostat, to which you can actually find the other end of the hose that we want to replace. Again, it's extremely tight. Now you hope the hose clamp is turned in the right direction so you can gain it from below. Otherwise you're going to have a heck of a bear. If you're not able to gain it from this end, you're going to have to actually drop the water pump and thermostat down, which becomes a lot bigger job. And we finally got that removed. Undo the hose, and then again we move to the top of the engine and we yard the hose out through the top. That's just the only way because the flange head is too large to get through all the piping and tubing. It's extremely tight, and it literally can only fit one way because the hose is such a convoluted design. We pull out the hose through the top, very tight. You have to twist and turn and give it a good yank, and then finally it comes out, and now you're clear. So then of course you want to do some cleanup. I noticed there's a lot of residual oil and antifreeze around the flange. We wanted to clean up in the flange and around the flange. I used a bunch of brake clean, and then after doing that, before we actually put the new hose in, what we did was we applied some of the right stuff into the flange on the aluminum side, basically in the head of the engine. We just applied a little bit lightly, a light coating of it all the way around, and then we stuffed the flange into the head of the engine. So then we essentially grabbed the rubber hose, and with a bunch of snaking and kind of worming it down below, one person working from the top, one person working from the bottom, we were able to gain access through that narrow little passage again. You know, the person at the bottom kind of getting a finger into the hose and just really pulling it through, and the person from the top giving it twists and turns and just finding the right spot. Get that fastened up with a hose clamp, snug it down real tight. This time make sure the hose clamp is set up in such an orientation that you're able to tighten it from the bottom, and that you have no problems removing it if you have to in the future. Then at the top, once you've got everything in place, clamp down those 2 clamps that hold the hose against the engine. So I started with the bottom one, clamped that, and then I clamped the one closer to the top. Now that was all in place, we start putting everything back. It's the reversal. Put the oil lines back in. Of course, what we did was we cleaned the oil lines really, really well. First, used a little bit of brake clean. Pull the O-rings off, make sure they were in good shape, that there weren't any nicks, so we had a good examination of those. Cleaned it all up, put it back together, bolted it from, with that bolt, that center bolt again, from below, put everything back up, screwed that back into place, and then we started adding antifreeze. So we're going to top it up now with the BMW blue coolant here. This is concentrate, so we're going to mix it roughly 50-50, maybe a little heavy on the coolant side, slightly less on the watery, but here we go. And then we ran through the full bleed process, which you can see in one of my previous videos. And then after the bleed process, I just did a quick look around the engine, make sure there was no leaks around the flange connection or that new hose that I installed. And then I end up putting the intake piping back in, put all that flange connections back in, put in those grommets with the little center pins, those 2-piece connectors, and those 2 little torque screws. We screwed those back in, buttoned everything up, cleaned up the floor, put all the garbage away, and we were ready to rock and roll. Fired up the car, and it worked flawlessly. So time will tell what this looks like, if it's going to actually have repaired the leak. If it is, this is a major win, guys. Time to celebrate, everybody. So thanks again, everybody. I hope this solved the issue. Stick around. You're going to want to find out if this, in fact, was the resolution. Hope to see you soon. Catch you then. Bye-bye.